Twins Cliff and Chris Paul couldn't stop talking about the assist. And yet, a new question,
Daddy, where does this come from?
rendered them speechless. As the Pauls delved deep into their lineage, they discovered something extraordinary. In 1922, local shopkeeper Clifford Paul, senior, inspired employees at State Farm, a thriving new insurance agency, to be there for customers like a good neighbor. While Christopher Paul, senior, revolutionized the game of basketball by suggesting players pass the ball to other players who could then score. Delighted that their ancestors invented the assist, the Twins could rest assured the gift of giving was in their genes. Allegedly. Nothing endures like the legacy of an assist.
Welcome back to another edition of The Rush. As always, I'm Danny Fry.
And I'm Sean Bennett. This week on The Rush, we bring you coverage from baseball and softball, as well as the GHS Girls Soccer Home Opener. We also bring you Top 3 with Eric Broklow and the weekly debate with Mr. Moore and Mr. Hay. Now, without further ado, let's get the show on the road.
You know what, Sean? I'll take your lead and let's roll. The Glenwood baseball team hosted their own round-robin tournament last weekend at South Park and then hosted CS8 rival Jacksonville last Tuesday night. So joining us now as a guest anchor is GHS senior first baseman Brock Thornton. Brock, been on before. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks again for having me.
So first time here though for baseball, and they're kind of moving around, guys, seeing where they fit, and that's really what the early season's about, and what's some of that early season rush you guys are shaking off?
A lot of it's just getting back into the practices and the game situations, and really just getting out there and playing good teams and learning from your mistakes and building on it.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights. The Titans and the Highland Park Giants. Both teams coming in 2-1. Highland Park, suburb of Chicago. Connery Heron, lefty on the mound. He was going in 0-1. Had a bad start against Barrington, but he was strong early on. He strikes out John Simone's string, and then Brock, you rip an RBI single down the left field line. What were you looking for there? Glenwood led 2-0 at that point.
I was just looking for a good pitch in that spot. I'm pretty sure I had a good count on, and pitcher was throwing some good stuff, and he left it there, so I decided to hit that one.
Speaking of pitchers, here's a Heron looking to step again as Jason Lowenthal goes down looking, and he was rolling until the top of the 6th inning, and when a breaking ball is just sent to the right field, tying the game at 2, and that's definitely when the Giants' momentum was going to get going.
Yeah, after that, they kind of seemed to take over. We lost our focus, and they kind of took it from there.
Now moving to the top of the 7th, a single is hit up in the middle as Noah Stern scores the go-ahead run for the Giants, up 3-2.
And now we got interesting here as Connery Heron trying to preserve, not make it a nightmare inning, as Justin Mills lays down a bunt. Heron scoops it up, but Brock, ball gets away from you. What are you thinking here? You eventually gun down this runner. Benidas tags him out.
Yeah, it was a close play. I was really just trying to knock the ball down, and luckily it wasn't a perfect stop, but I got the play and was able to get it to Matt for the out. Going
into the bottom of the 7th inning, Glenwood trailed 3-2. Brian Hobby strikes out swinging. That ends the game. Highland Park on the road Friday night prevails 3-2. The Giants 3 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. Glenwood trying to get the bats going, 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error when Connery Heron went a full 7 innings, but still got the loss.
Next up, they played Bloomington, so let's go ahead and take a look at that highlight right now. As Tyler Brown starts us off here on the mound for Glenwood, and he's going to Benedictine next year, and he pitched a solid 2 innings to start the game, but struggled working out on the stretch, bro.
Yeah, Tyler, he has some good pitches. He's got some good movement on his curveball and a really good fastball, so, he was working hard in this game, although.
Thompson just smokes that ball up the middle and scores 2 Purple Raiders to put Bloomington ahead 32 in the top of the 3rd.
Kyle Hall was brought in out of the bullpen, and Bloomington was just on hitting-wise, and they win in this game with no wins, but they brought it. Ball sliced down the right field line as a couple runs come in for the Purple Raiders. They had a 6-run 3rd inning, and Kyle adds some pitching depth for you guys. He gets that guy down swinging, and here Nick Maton not hitting particularly well this season, but he strokes that one into the right center field gap. Sam Anderson and Bryce Rooney score, and then the Raiders, they just kept pounding them, Sean.
Yeah, there was no really comeback as Glenwood, they really just were kind of losing. Obviously, as we see the scoreboard, Glenwood 4-12, Thompson with 2 hits, 3 RBIs, Mayton with a 2 RBI double.
Yeah, and at that point, that 2 RBI double by Mayton made it a 7-4 game, Brock, at that point. But Aiden Casio, the starting pitcher for Bloomington, gave you guys some wiggle room, but not really able to capitalize.
Yeah, we started to have a little bit of a comeback, but weren't able to get it done on that one.
And then you moved on that same day, had to take on Williamsville. Now, they are a smaller school, a class under you in the playoff system, but they came into that game, I believe, 7-1, and really going to dominate the Sangamo Conference as we take a look at this scoreboard, the Titans and the Bullets. Talk about that game. Matt Zaccardi came out in relief of Nick Mayton, picked up the W. Big W for you guys.
Yeah, it was definitely a close game. It was the best game of the day for us out of the two, and we were able to put up 3, and it could have been better if we had some more runs, but we were able to get it done with 3, so we stuck with it.
And that ends up being a 3-2 win, the only win of the round-robin tournament there at South Park. And then you moved on Tuesday, take on Jacksonville. This is a really busy time for you guys. You don't really have much of a break. And Jacksonville only has 10 players on their team, but they still are solid, and they can still cause some problems.
Yeah, they can definitely cause some problems. They caused us some trouble. We went in extra innings both games this week with them so far. And
well, let's take a look at the first one, where it was 8-inning game as the Titans and the Crimsons only 10 players, but still 7-2 on the season. Glenwood 3-3. It really was a pitcher's duel at South Park. These highlights courtesy of channel1450.com. As Dustin Woodcock strikes out Brian Hobby swinging, and game was scoreless after 3 innings, and Woodcock really had his stuff going, but so did Brian Hobby, Sean.
You know, it was definitely a pitcher's battle as he had perfect game in 4 innings and returned the favor with some heat of his own as Cody Wood strikes out swinging. Now, Connor Strimlaw strikes out looking at the outside corner as the Crimson strand Floyd Lomolino is third base. And Hobby, when he puts runners on the base, and were you guys able to get out of the jam?
You know, the main thing about Hobby is he always keeps his composure. He always stays calm. He never shows emotion, and that's really the main thing you need when you're a pitcher, and he just kept composed, and we were able to help him out behind him.
Yeah, Woodcock got Nick Mayton to pop out in the 7th inning, and we flash forward after Brian Hobby struck out the side. We're still a scoreless game going into the 8th inning. Brian Hobby struck out the side in the top of the 8th. Then he helps himself out with a double over the center fielder Wood, and then a wild pitch would get him, a ground ball would get Hobby over to third. That sets up the table for Luke Middlestat. Drags a RBI single into right field, walk-off single for Luke Middlestat as the Titans win 1-0. And still first pitch swinging there, Brock, but he found his pitch there and dragged it into right field, and that was the only run of the game.
Yeah, Luke's able to do that really well on the first pitch. You know, if he sees a good strike, a good fastball, he takes it and he makes the most of it.
Titans win 1-0. Fabulous game for Brian Hobby, as Hobby, an Oriole scout, was there looking for him professionally, even though Hobby's committed to play at Indiana. He had 8 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, a double, and a triple at the plate as well, as the Titans win 1-0. And then, Brock, the next day, you had to turn around and play Jacksonville again, and again, extra innings, 10 innings, fell 9-8, and that was a game that it was 7-3 entering the top of the 7th inning, and just kind of let slip away.
Yeah, there were some tough mistakes that we made as a team, and couldn't really get the bats going. Nick Mayton, he had 2 home runs in that game, which really helped us out. And,
solo homers, though, which is key to add.
Yeah, but we weren't able to quite get that one done.
And that was after Connor A. Heron had to be pulled after 7 innings because of a pitch count. So, Brock, thanks for coming on, and good luck towards the rest of the season. The baseball Titans play at Normal West this afternoon at 4:30.
The Glenwood softball team played Jacksonville at home this past Tuesday. Let's go ahead and check out the highlight right now.
And heading into this game, the Lady Titans 4-2. They split a pair with Bloomington over the weekend. Jacksonville 1 game under 500, and Ashlyn Myers got the start for Jacksonville.
Starts off good, very solid in the first with this swing and strikeout, but that was really the last positive highlight for the Lady Crimsons, as the Glenwood's offense just exploded in the second as Lexi Kester hits a high fly ball, but the center field isn't able to come up with it, as Abby Burton scores in that win for the Glenwood Titans.
Yeah, and this was a big second inning for the Lady Titans, and they need to do this, really get on spurts and get teams out of the game. Still in the second, Katie Hudson slaps a single in the right field, and Miranda Esprum will score as the Titans scored 6 runs in that second inning. It really blew open the ballgame at that point, and part of the reason why Bree Graham was on the mound. Another solid start for her. She went 6 innings, strikes out Megan Hance looking, and that ended the top of the 4th inning.
Glenwood just was crazy as Angie Ford comes up with another run with the RBI single to left field, and Glenwood just cruised with the win as she put another RBI in for Glenwood to go on and win this game.
Yeah, and it was shortened. It was a 6-inning game shortened because of the mercy rule. 12-2 the final. Glenwood 15 hits and did have a couple errors, but that's all right. Katie Hudson at the plate, 2 runs batted in.
Wednesday night was another easy win for the GHS softball team against Jacksonville.
That game was on the road as Allison Long picked up the win on the mound in the 15-1 Glenwood victory. Make sure to head out to the softball diamond tonight as the girls face Normal West in a doubleheader with first pitch at 4:30. It's now time for our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll bring you some Glenwood girls soccer action against Southeast along with tennis results. Stay tuned. At Willie's in Chatham is a great family restaurant that supplies a wonderful dining experience. We offer outstanding fried chicken and over-the-top walleye and pizza. With quality products at affordable prices, Fat Willie's is the way to go. Open Monday through Saturday, 12 a.m. to midnight. Call us today at 217-483-6969.
Aaron, you're all set?
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot.
Where's your finger?
Get out of here.
Get to a better state, State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
Kids, the breakfast is ready. Eat up. Your friend's gonna be here pretty soon.
I'll be there in a second.
Have a great day.
My friend's here, I'm leaving.
Be safe. Come home right after school.
All right, see ya.
Wow, your dads are really looking out for you.
That's not my dad. That's my family's financial advisor, Mr. Sullivan.
Sullivan Financial, looking out for your investments and your family.
The Rush, the Glenwood girls soccer team opened up at home against Southeast on Tuesday. Now here on the show is Titan Junior forward Kelly Graves. Thanks for coming on, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, after winning state last year 4-1 against Crystal Lake Prairie Ridge, do you guys feel like there was a big target on your back?
Oh, there definitely is. Every parent, coach, just anyone around will say we will always get everyone else's A game and really never have no pressure on us, basically. Yeah.
Well, that might propel you guys in some games, though, as well. And a little hiccup in that quest to repeat is junior Maggie Julin. She's already verbally committed right now to play soccer at Drake, but she tore her ACL. And talk about that loss and what her recovery process and timetable to come back.
Well, that will be the first season in 11 years that I haven't played with her, so it's definitely going to really redirect the team. We'll have to overcome adversity, a lot of adversity, and it's going to take a long time for that to heal, but they have perfected the surgery and she's really strong, so she'll be back way before time.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlight. The Titans against the Southeast Spartans. Glenwood going into the game at 2-1.
Now, how did you guys feel going into your first home game? Just how did you guys feel?
We were definitely pretty pumped for it. Just really pumped because our home field's so nice and it was a good day.
Right, and you guys start off with Madison Volpert with a shot attempt. That was a little too much on it, and the team got up just a little slow start.
Yeah, Madison's always like put her 2 cents into every play, you know.
Now here's your 2 cents. You got a shot on goal, but Nikki Hogan had, she got back in the net, and she's a really senior leader for you guys.
Yeah, she's always been there vocally and physically on the field for us.
Volpert again with the shot attempt. This time it goes in for a goal. Got it past a Southeast defender, or actually past the goalie, still away from the Southeast defender. And here Maddie Clintworth, a freshman with the assist. Michaela Tanner ends up tapping in. You guys had to feel pretty good up 3-0 at halftime.
Yeah, we felt pretty good. We always wanted more though. That's just
it was a little bit
play.
of a slow start.
Yeah, it was a slow start.
And there it is, a header by Addison Volpert. That is a top play nominee as well. And the Spartans really didn't even have a chance down the other field.
No, they really didn't, but we could have played faster and quicker and could have started out more like we usually do. But it's our first home game, so it's going to be a little rough.
You know, despite Jacksonville's effort, you guys won 5-0. Southeast. Yeah, I was kind of mixed up on words. But how'd you guys feel, especially without Maggie Julin going to that? And it's just a key for the underclassmen to step up. How'd you guys put them in, the underclassmen?
Well, we definitely talked with the underclassmen, tell them that their role has increased so much. We changed our formation around our huge loss, and we're basically just trying to overcome what's happened.
Right, yeah.
All right, Kelly, thanks for coming on,
Thanks.
and good luck towards the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys.
The next Glenwood girls soccer game is tomorrow at Peoria against Peoria Notre Dame at 10 a.m.
The Glenwood tennis team participated in the Edwardsville Invite last weekend. Let's first take a look at the Flat A semifinal results against the Sacred Heart Griffin Cyclones. Take a look at the results in Vidura Ragaraman, the reigning CS8 tennis player of the year. He won his matches 6-0, 6-2, but SHG, led by Graham Cross, won the match as a whole 7-2. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Flat B tennis results against O'Fallon from last Saturday. It was a 4-1 win for Glenwood. Zach Tenenhouse won 6-0, 6-0, and it took him 3 sets, but Tariq Issa won his match as Glenwood won the overall match 4-1 over the O'Fallon Panthers. The Glenwood boys tennis team is in action again at Champaign Central Saturday morning, starting bright and early at 10 a.m.
It's time for our last commercial break. When we come back, it's time for the top 3 and the Wheelie debate with Mr. Moore and Mr. Hay. Stay right there.
Well, Mr. Raji, we could save you hundreds by doing a discount double check.
Not you too, Raji. You're on my team. You know that's my move.
The discount double check?
No, that's my touchdown dance, man.
Here we go again. Sir, you're not even doing it right. Raji, drop it.
Show me what you got, Raji.
What is this?
Come on now. You said you were a dancer.
Where are you going, buddy? Come on back.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
That Willie's in Chatham is a great family restaurant that supplies a wonderful dining experience. We offer outstanding fried chicken and over-the-top walleye and pizza. With quality products at affordable prices, that Willie's is the way to go. Open Monday through Saturday, 12 a.m. to midnight. Call us today at 217-483-6969.
Countdown from girls soccer from the home opener Tuesday night. Glenwood Junior Madison Volport leaps and scores off the header as the Lady Titans soundly defeat Southeast 5-0. Moving on to play number two, which is from South Park Tuesday night. Luke Middleset drives in behind hobby with a walk-off single in the right field, which was Glenwood was victorious over Jacksonville 1-0 in extra innings. And now we go back to South Park on last Friday night for the top play of Glenwood Sports this week, as Connor Ahearn throws the ball away from Brock Thorne, but wait, he recovers and rifles at the Matt Benias, who tags out the runner on the top of the 7th inning, where the Titans fell to Highland Park 3-2. Now let's send it back to Danny for the weekly debate.
Thanks, Eric, there again with another edition of the top 3 plays here on the news set with Mr. Moore and Mr. Hay coming on for the debate. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and, I know you said, Mr. Moore, you don't have a lot of comments, but we'll see what we can get out of you for this first question, which, how big of an issue is it for, and this has really happened since, the beginning of sports, professional athletes, allegedly becoming involved with gangs, but recently Deshaun Jackson let go by the Philadelphia Eagles, picked up by the Washington Redskins, and you almost got to wonder how big of an issue it was with him that the Eagles let him go even with all his talent.
It's hard to say when you get in that kind of situation, the upper management, some of the things that they feel, some of the sponsors, I think a lot of it has to do with sponsors, who's sponsoring their team, who's funding their team, that type of thing. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's kind of interesting to see how much that really plays into it.
And well, it's kind of tough for those guys too. I assume a lot of those connections are just friends that they've known for all this time, and now they've gotten to this position, and these friends want, they want them to still be their friends, and now they have to deal with that. So it's got to be tough for them too.
Yeah, friends from home, they don't necessarily want to, leave them because they've known them for so long, and, if they ask for favors and whatnot. I think that's something that, not necessarily an issue, but it can escalate, because when you look at it, NFL out of all of them does have the most crime and gang activity out of all of the professional sports, but in the NFL you do have a lot more players to pick from, so when you pick that. Now, instant replay here in the MLB just implemented. They have a big, main base back in Brooklyn. They're looking at this. Do you think that instant replay is helping or hurting? Because some they're getting right and some they're still missing.
I think it's going to improve. I think this is going to be kind of a trial year. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. It sounds like it's working for the most part up to this point. The big question is why it didn't happen before now. The technology's been there. It's just a matter of getting the old timers to agree on it.
As a Cub fan, I just assume they went back and reviewed the last 100 years. It'd be nice to come back and help us out there. I think it'll help. They'll get the bugs worked out.
Yeah, because some of them they went back, they've looked at, and they've still missed them. And it's like, well, if you're going to do it and slow down the game, and another big part of it is, do you think the game, average MLB baseball game, can go 3-4 hours? Sure. This might even make it an even longer game for someone. Would that be an issue?
Maybe. I think in some cases it could be. But I also think that now there's less arguments overall, because now the coach can go out there and he doesn't have an argument. He says, well, just review it. And it's not, hey, you didn't see it or I saw it this way. It's, hey, what did they see?
Yeah, but it has to help out the umpires in that situation too.
Sure, yeah. I think that people are going to get. They screwed it up in football too. And
would you want that at IHSA? I think Eric Berklow did a story on that. Would you?
Sometimes I would. Sometimes I wouldn't.
Yeah. That's right. It depends whether
it helps me or not.
Depends if you get to choose.
That's right. On the discretion of Coach Hay.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be a good rule. I like that rule.
Use a replay for IHSA. Moving on, NCAA basketball tournament now. UConn and Kentucky played. It was a 7 and an 8 seed, and I think Warren Buffett did pretty well. Didn't have to pay out the $1 billion because I don't think anyone saw that coming at all.
Oh no chance at all. And it was amazing that Illinois wasn't there. I just couldn't understand how that happened.
I think the seeds were surprising, but I don't think the teams were. If you watched
I agree.
What I watched, it looked like the best two teams to me.
Well, and the seeding almost doesn't matter because Kentucky was the preseason #1.
There you go.
And then they ended up falling to the 8th seed. And it's almost to the point where seeds really don't even matter in the NCAA. And it's just sort of how matchup-wise.
Yeah, and I think wasn't Connecticut the last team to beat Florida? And Florida was #1 probably for the longest period of time in the season. And that was the last team to beat Florida. So them being an 8 seed or a 9 seed was kind of misleading too.
Yeah, and I just know everyone on ESPN was picking Michigan State to win. So I tried to stay away from that, and they only made it to the Elite 8. But, UConn is also talked about, you talked about this with some teams like maybe even the Glenwood team back in 2010. It's just when you click.
Right, you get on a roll at the end of the year, and you know, things change. You're a different team than you were at the beginning of the year, or even midway through the year.
Sure. Now, Mr. Morey brought up Illinois. Do you think they could make it next year with
I think
John Gross?
I think they can. I think they will. I just think they're a young team, and he's bringing in younger kids, and it just takes a while for those kids to gel and get mature and to get the body size. I mean, when you're coming in as a high school, an 18-year-old, you're just not as big as some of those guys that have been there 2 or 3 years working out consistently. Where in high school, they just don't have those kind of workouts.
Yeah, Kentucky was trying to be bring it back to Kentucky. They were trying to be the youngest team ever to win national championship of all those freshmen. They couldn't quite pull it out. UConn a little too experienced. Last question. It brings us to the 2014 Boston Marathon, and this will happen on April 21st. Now, due to of course the bombing that went there last year, what are some challenges for the runners? Not just trying to complete the 26.2 miles, but now do you think someone might be paranoid and maybe not go out to the event, or is it more of a personal accomplishment that they'll just look past from that?
I mean, obviously security's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think I bet you'll probably have more runners. I think I think a year later, people maybe look at it as a challenge and get out there and you'll get more participation. Of course, the security is going to be a problem, but I don't think it's going to affect the race.
No. And I think from the preliminary numbers that I've seen, it's almost doubled the number of people that are signed up for it. So I think everyone understands that, hey, if there's ever going to be a safe race, it's going to be this one. Because after what happened last year, so I think, and they want to support the people that were hurt and the people that sacrificed last year. So I think that's something that everybody wants to be a part of.
Yeah, and it should be a good sight with that, like you said, rallying around the town of Boston, the Boston Strong, as they say.
Sure.
Well, thanks for coming on. I know you guys are busy over there in office too, but thanks for coming down here to the TV studio.
Thanks.
All right, that's it for this episode of The Rush. For Sean Bennett, I'm Danny Fry signing off. Due to the upcoming shortened week, The Rush is off. But the week after that, April 25th, we'll be back with extensive GHS Spring Sports highlights. We'll be gone.